It's such a volatile position, man. I think that's why, and that's your answer right there. There's select company who are making that good chunk of coin. Even what's happening right now with Connor Hellebuck, like it sounds like he wants Vasilevsky money or around there, and I'm not sure anybody's prepared to pay him that, given how volatile the position is. But the irony that Connor Hellebuck is like an Iron Man in this league in terms of how many games he plays and just how solid he is, and he's always in there, and that should stand for something in this day and age. That's why it didn't shock me at all to see the news from the New York Post and Larry Brooks linking the Leafs to 38-year-old netminder Brian Elliott, who, by the way, is from Newmarket. 22 appearances last season with Tampa, 3.40, 891. He's at an 890 or less in 3 of the past 4 seasons. I actually don't mind it for a variety of reasons. I think if the Leafs are looking at a veteran, number one, the most important, I think you need some insulation and you need some depth at the position. We've seen this time and time again. You know, I covered this team quite a bit during the pandemic and was their radio host. They had like 17 different goalies. It was insane. Michael Hutchinson kept appearing in the NHL. Like, it was nuts to me. So I think at the very least, you need a decent option at number 3. Eric Shalgren's gone. Hutchinson's no longer with the organization. Like, you need somebody to come in. God forbid there's an injury to one of your top 2 guys. So I actually I don't mind it. I think it means at the very least they're looking around here.
Yeah, for what he would probably cost, it's probably, not going to be a big deal. If it were to take place of a deal that could get done, with skating, defenseman, for example, then of course not. If he needed $1.8 million or something like that, then I'd say absolutely not. You're just going to get yourself in another position, which we're in with Matt Murray, an older guy who's not really bringing anything to the table, who you're stuck with, who's hurt all the time. Like, fuck, not interested in that. But it depends on what their plan is with Joseph Woll. Do they want, I see them kind of being a tandem, switch hitting, the pipes this year with a little bit more going towards Sammy, depending on what kind of workload he likes. I think it helps that they can both, get their feet under them. They can both ride hot streaks. Neither one of them has to grind through, a bit of a cold streak. You can go work on your game, and it's not like you got yanked because you are both supposed to be kind of sharing the crease. Neither one of them has that huge spotlight that everyone struggles with in Toronto, where you're the goalie, you're the goalie, you're the goalie. At the same time, you're taking some miles off Samsonov. So come playoff time, injuries aren't an issue. You get Woll a whole bunch of experience. Let him, be in the pipes, be part of the Maple Leafs organization, a goaltender, which again has so much spotlight and pressure on it, without being like, oh my God, I'm the number one. I'm gonna, get crushed under this pressure. And you can really, lots of different reasons, lots of positives to move things around as far as injuries and miles and everything else. That's what I pictured. So then to bring in Elliott, like, what are we doing? Are we talking about the Marlies goalie, or are we just talking about like a supplement guy if somebody does get hurt? I'm fine with that. We've seen that happen last year, and needed to have a guy that's capable. That's fine with me. But my mind definitely just has Woll and Samsonov switch hitting this season being the guys.
I'll just say this: what you expect normally doesn't happen, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to young goalies. We're in love, obviously, with Joseph Woll on this show. We had him on a couple months back. If you want to go check that out on our YouTube channel, please do so. But I mean, you have to be honest in saying this guy's had 11 games of NHL experience and then some
Yeah.
in the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? It's a small sample size. Very rarely have I noticed, and you played in this league, me covering it for the last 12 years, very rarely is the progression of a young goalie linear. Whereas, like, there's going to be some turbulence, there's going to be some stumbling blocks, taking nothing away from Joseph Woll. Like, I think this guy is the real deal. But at the very least, I have no issue with somebody to push him along, if that makes sense. If they have an agreement with a veteran like Brian Elliott saying, hey, this is Woll's job, but like force him, get him going. And I think at the very least to have Elliott, if he agrees to it, be your guy in the Marlies. And I think the one thing we've learned from this league in the last 5 years, 2 goalies isn't going to cut it. We started this conversation with saying that you need at least 3, maybe 4. There's going to be injuries, man. So like, if you're Brian Elliott and you're 38 and you're saying there's no real opportunities out there at the NHL level right now, I think you almost have to take a peek at a situation like this one, knowing the position in this day and age.
Yeah, that's very true. The last thing you want to do is just have an empty basket when you need to, like, win 10 games, or you're battling for, top position in the division, and a goalie goes down and then the other one, you know what I mean? I've also seen it where you sign an older goaltender, oh, he'll help out the young guys. And blah blah, and it's like his last kick at the can, last hurrah, and he's just on the training table the whole friggin' year. You can rely on him 0%. He's just took a freebie contract and said thanks for the cash before I, hit the golf course for the rest of my life. It's like, but at the end of the day, if that happens, are you that hurt? Are you that out of pocket? Not really. He's not going to cost you a lot, and the chances are he's going to put in some minutes for you, help these young guys out. I have no inside information about what Brian Elliott's like as far as being a professional, his work ethic, his attitude towards the goalie coaches and XYZ. But he's been in the league a long time. He's been in prominent roles. You got to think the guy knows what he's doing and can do nothing but help these younger goalies develop. So, hearing your side of the story makes sense to, hey, if you can wrap this guy up for $800,000 or whatever the league minimum is, and he knows that he's either going to be on the Marlies or up, and he just gets the deal and gets the gig, and he's there to help the two prospects or the two big boys, I guess you'd call them now, then rock and roll. Go get him.